Good evening. The title for this video, the series titles for this video, I'm gonna call it Crossroads. And for this video specifically, I'm gonna be speaking about Harry Kane. Now, last week, Thursday, I believe, Tottenham just won recently. They beat Villa 2-0, so they're in 7th position, I believe. And of 6, they're in 6th place. So they still have a slight chance of reaching the top 4. We'll see what happens. But unfortunately, last week Thursday they got knocked out of the Europa League by Dynamo Zagreb in the second leg by a extra time winner from a player who Orsic, who scored all 3 goals because Tottenham were leading 2-0 on aggregate going into the second leg, but then Dynamo Zagreb equalised. I think the same player, Orsic, scored all 3 of the goals. He scored the first goal, the second, and then the third in extra time to win the game, win the tie for Zagreb. And as a result, Tottenham were knocked out, and they still have top 4 to play for slightly. They still got top 4 to play for. They still have the Carabao Cup final against Man City, which they are huge underdogs, not surprisingly. And City are looking to kind of go for a three-peat of the Carabao Cup, win it. Well, Man City are going to try and win the Carabao Cup 4 times in a row, because I think they've won it the last 3 years, if I'm correct. But we'll get there when we get there for that final between Spurs and Man City. But the point of this video is about Harry Kane, the striker for Tottenham Hotspurs, and he's obviously a world-class striker, a world-class number 9, no doubt about it. He scores goals, he holds up play, he links play very well, he can dribble. Well, he doesn't do it often, but he's certainly capable of dribbling. But the point is, he's 28 years old, almost. And the fact is, he's at a crossroads, because he's not won a trophy for Tottenham. He's not won a trophy with Tottenham. And man, it's going to it'll be shameful for him to be the greatest striker of all time within the Premier League. That's if he beats Alan Shearer's record, and not to win a trophy. That will be a travesty, because he's certainly a talented footballer, and he certainly deserves his respect for his goal scoring record that he's been doing in the past 4 years. But reality is going to hit. He's entering into his prime. He's in his late 20s. He's not far from being 30. And so he's going to have to kind of make a decision on whether he wants to kind of show his loyalty, remain loyal to Spurs, and to kind of usher in a building project for Spurs, for them to kind of compete in Europe and to potentially win trophies down the long run. Is he willing to do that, or will he be willing to call it request a transfer and try and get a move elsewhere at a bigger club, apart from Arsenal, of course, not Arsenal, but at a bigger club where he can win trophies? That's going to be what he has to ask himself this summer, because personally, I mean, would it change if he wins the Carabao Cup? Maybe, because that's a trophy. But could that entice him enough to remain loyal? Winning the Carabao Cup, which is out of the trophies which is the least relevant trophy in England domestically anyway, certainly. Um, so the Carabao Cup may not be winning that may not be enough to make Harry Kane stay. Son as well, but mainly Harry Kane because he's their best player. He's the best striker in the league in my opinion, and so it's just the harsh reality that he's going to be facing, that he's going to be forced to face as he gets older, as he gets to his 30s, which will be within 3 years. He's going to have to understand that his legacy will be going to be one of the best record goal scorer, the best record goal scorer in Premier League history, but without any silverware, barely without any silverware. Because when you look at Alan Shearer, yes, he's the top goal scoring striker of all time in the Premier League, but really and truly, Alan Shearer, he only won one trophy. That was a league title with Blackburn in '95, and he could have easily won more trophies had he not gone to Newcastle. Had he gone to Newcastle or Arsenal or abroad maybe. And the only thing with Alan Shearer is that he won a Premier League title, but he could have easily not win that title because that season Man U could have easily won the title in '95, but they kind of fluffed their lines. But the point is, Alan Shearer managed to win a league title, so he's not seen as kind of like a big disappointment for all his talent because he at least won a trophy, even though he could have won many more had he not gone to Newcastle. And with Harry Kane is treading in a similar direction, sort of, because he has to realise is that he's not won a trophy. He's going to be one of these athletes who, when he retires, and if he doesn't win a trophy, he's never going to be regarded as the best striker in the league because of all time, because he hasn't won a trophy. He didn't win a trophy. That's if he doesn't finish, that's if he doesn't win any silverware for the rest of his career. It's like literally it'll be the best. He'll certainly be the best striker never to win a trophy. That would be the undeniable fact, because he's had moments to kind of help Tottenham, help Spurs win those trophies. They got to the they were competing for the Premier League title in 2016, 2017. They competed. They failed in both years, both seasons. 2019 they got to the Champions League final against Liverpool, and he just didn't turn up. And yeah, sure, he had injury, but that final, Harry Kane was a massive hindrance, and they lost 2-0 to Liverpool, which was a dull game. But Tottenham just, they didn't really show any effort, especially Harry Kane, and so he has to, if he really wants to win trophies, he's gonna have to consider. He's gonna have to be serious about moving. Now the flip side is, who's gonna pay 150 million for him, or 120 million for him? Who will do it? Because he tends to be injury prone at times. Which was the case last season. Tends to be very injury prone, and that could go against him if he's trying to make a move away from Spurs. It could very well go against it, because I believe recently, I think he signed a long term contract, a long term extension. So it's going to be hard to kind of for him if he wants to move to kind of get that move away from the Spurs. That's the case. So in a certain way, in a side way for him, if he wants to leave or if he make kind of issues a transfer request, it's going to be hard. It's going to be difficult because Tottenham are going to demand a huge fee, and are there any clubs willing to pay that? Perhaps PSG, perhaps Man City. Not sure about Man United, but the fact is the fact is that he'll be boxed in. He'll be kind of he will have to kind of reside to kind of accept the fact that he's going to stay in Spurs for the most of his prime years, and potentially not winning any trophies for the rest of his Tottenham career, and potentially that's if he stays there, of course. But the fact is, he has to kind of. I think he's at a crossroads now that he's reaching his late 20s. That he's gonna have to kind of make a concise decision on whether he wants to stay or go. And if he want, okay, the plus side for the positive for him to leave, the chance for him to leave will be the Spurs board deciding that maybe they may need to sell him an asset because Harry Kane's probably the biggest asset that they have at Tottenham Hotspurs, along with Heung-min Son. So maybe if Daniel Levy and the rest of the Spurs club board want to rebuild, they're gonna have to sell him. And Harry Kane may accept that if he wants to personally leave himself, especially if he wants to personally leave. And so it's just unfortunate because as much as I despise him as an Arsenal fan, he's a great striker, and I feel like he'll be viewed greater if he won trophies, but he hasn't. So that's the unfortunate reality, and he's at the crossroads right now. He's getting there. Practically, he's there pretty much. Especially if they don't win the Carabao Cup final. But we'll see. We'll wait and see. Take care. God bless.